Hey everyone, and welcome back to Master Tarot. It's Libby. There I was thinking about what am I going to read on today. Next thing I know, I've got an entire notebook full of possible subjects. So what I'm going to have a look at today, just delve a little bit back into Ukraine and Russia on a few, hopefully get through a few different topics on that. The Ukrainian army earlier this week, reached the Russian border at Kharkiv, and I apologise that I have butchered the spelling of that, Kharkiv. Want to have a quick look at what happens now. Will they push over? Will they just basically what's going to happen in regards to that? The Russian subs have left their bases and have moved into the Black Sea. Have a look in regards to that. The Republican Party, Mitch McConnell et al., visited Ukraine. What was the purpose of that, considering they were the ones that didn't want to send aid? And I want to have a quick look at Putin. What made him who he is, and a little bit of post-Putin future, if we get a chance. Also, the fighters from the Mariupol steelworks, the Azov regiment, battalion. What's the future of those who surrendered? There was about 251, of which 50 odd were severely wounded, etc., etc. If I get time, I'll have a look at Sweden and Finland and Turkey's trying to prevent them getting into NATO. So we'll see how we go for time. I don't want to make it too long for you, as I tend to do. So I'm going to have a quick look. These are my Gilded Tarot Royale, my fairly nondescript pack. I just want to have a look to see. Ukraine has reached the Russian border. Will they progress further? I'm getting a no. I'm seeing that they're very highly disciplined. They know that if they go over the border, that's inviting a cripes load of trouble. Okay, let's have a look and see what this actual... It's a huge morale step is what I'm getting for the Ukrainian soldiers. Great morale booster, the fact that they've pushed Russia back into Russia. But is there anything that's going to come out of this? Tell me about Ukraine reaching the Russian border. What do we need to know? Oops, something's flipped over here. Two of Swords has flipped over and determined to come out. It is a difficult decision at this stage as to what the direction they take now. The Ukrainians. Tell me about, is there anything, what happens now that Ukraine has reached the Russian border? In this now, if you picture Ukraine, you've got the Black Sea down the bottom, and then on the border of Ukraine and Russia, it's about halfway up that border. So what will the Ukrainians do now that they've reached the Russian border? Another two has popped out. It is very much about deciding what to do next. I don't know that they know what they want to do next now that they've reached the border there. Tell me about Ukrainians reaching the Russian border at Kharkiv. What? The Ukrainian... and it's jumped out again. So they've reached the border. They've put up their... I'm not going to go any further on this because it's really telling me that they're... And the bottom of the pack was my Zelensky card. They've reached the border. They set up the border post again in the Ukrainian colours, and at the moment they're not going to go any further into Russia, obviously, but they are deciding what to do with this, which way to go now, and it hasn't been decided yet. Very much about the security of the country itself is being considered in opposition to this devil energy. They are reviewing what to actually do now, and there is anxiety. Okay, whose anxiety is that? Is that Russia or is that Ukrainian anxiety? But I'm getting very much that, okay, we've done that now, what next? Is what it is. So is that anxiety Russian or Ukrainian? Tell me, was that anxiety card for Russia or Ukraine? It's Russia. It's telling me Russia. It's Russia that's anxious about the perception that this will give. In a lot of decks, they have the soldiers in the background walking away from this person who is betraying and sabotaging, etc., the battlefield. So it is anxiety on Russia's behalf that this has happened. So that's good to know. Okay, I'm just going to switch decks here. Oh, the Russian subs in the Black Sea. Okay. Now, I read 2 weeks ago on the radioactive missiles. There was some speculation in the news that these subs would then fire on Ukraine from the Black Sea. We'll have a quick look. What are these subs Russian subs in the Black Sea? What are their intentions? Tell me, what are these submarines' intentions? Tell me, what are the Oops. A show of strengths. So I'll just see if we can get some more on that. Tell me about what are the intentions. Now, remembering that the cards aren't biased, they aren't judgmental, they just say how it is. So tell me about the intention of the submarines in the Black Sea. Are they going to fire on Ukraine? What is their purpose? Why have they left their bases? Ooh. These submarines in the Black Sea. So it's all about, okay, so this is usually the infighting, but in this particular, on this particular card, so everybody's holding their wands up. It's about a saber rattling. Okay, that's what I'm getting, saber rattling. Isolation, so they're trying to, are they trying to isolate? We'll keep going with this. Hang on, come on down. So it's a message of saber rattling as they try and isolate Ukraine. It's not happening. It's not. Here we have the system. So this is the military, but it is going to be a loss for them. They're going to have to defend themselves. They're going to have to defend themselves for whatever reason. Here's some of my Zelensky's energy. A harsh truth, Russia moving away, closing of one door, opening of another, on Putin with full illumination, and this sabotage and betrayal, defeated, wounded in battle, defeated, having to retreat, something to do with the past, a difficult decision, keeps going. Anxiety, but hope. So now, if you remember 2 weeks ago, I think it was, that I did a reading on the victory parade, and what did Putin have in mind? Was it that he was going to fire these radioactive missiles, etc.? And what I really saw then was that was going to be a turning point for those within the Russian military. So I think this is actually also introspection in regards to the Russian military and loss. And what I did get was that reading a couple of weeks ago that Putin was going to attempt to order the firing of these missiles, but the military stepped in, the commander stepped in and refused to let it happen. And I think that that's what these cards are telling me, in that these boundaries, it's going to have to defend himself as a harsh truth about this comes out, why the ships are there, and that Russia is going to have to withdraw, move away, as the fortunes within Russia change, and this devil energy is brought fully to light and defeated. So I'm not getting anything in regards to those subs themselves, that they're going to fire missiles or anything like that. And I'm definitely not getting that they're going to be radioactive missiles. I think, as my reading, we may never find out the truth. My reading a couple of weeks ago was that was what Putin wanted, but the hierarchy in the military and government are going to step in and prevent it from happening, is what I'm still feeling. The Republican visit. Oh, okay, we'll use the same cards. The Republican visit. Was there anything behind it, or was it just a photo opportunity? I think it's just, okay, they didn't want to be outdone by, now who went there? Kamala Harris, did she go? Dr. Jill Biden went. There's been quite a few senior political figures go, and they purely didn't want to be outdone. But I'll have a quick look about that. Any thoughts about that? The Republican visit to Ukraine, was there anything behind it? Oh, money. Oh, Trump thought it was a good idea. Okay. I don't quite know. Okay. That's why they went. Tell me about it was purely to pander to the donors, is what I'm getting. The Republican leader's visit to Ukraine. They're setting themselves a new boundary. They didn't want to miss out, is what I'm getting. And this one's now popped out at me twice in regards to this. Yeah, it was inevitable that they went. It is an inevitable ending, but it's an inevitable that they went, because they felt that they were being judged if they didn't. It's all very political, convoluted. Don't really want to read any further on that. Eurovision. Will Eurovision. So, as we all know, Ukraine won Eurovision. Now, I must admit, I don't really watch it. I did see a little bit of Eurovision, and they weren't the most dynamic band there, but I was really thrilled to see that they won, purely because of the situation in Ukraine, and it was the world showing unity, and no one can begrudge them that win at all. So it was really quite exciting. So tell me, so Zelensky has said that Eurovision, because the country that wins will hold the competition in their country the following year, Zelensky has stated that Eurovision will be held in Mariupol. When he said that, I didn't see Mariupol as being rebuilt, but I did see Eurovision in Mariupol in a huge outdoor situation amongst the rebuilding and the rubble, with lights strung everywhere, with and it was really a celebration of what they had gone through, and where they were going with their future. So I saw that it was held in Mariupol, but it was held proudly amongst the rubble. But we'll just have a quick look. Will Eurovision be held in Mariupol in 2023? What are we now? May, so therefore it'll be May 2023. Will Eurovision... This is a new deck to me. I'm trying to think who the guru is. I think this is the Hierophant, and that's very much a yes card. Very much a yes card that it will be held there. Tell me, will Eurovision be held in Mariupol 2023? So I've got the guru, whomever he is. Queen of Swords, bringing peace and stability to the situation, an offer being made, and an offer being... Okay, so what I'm getting here is that they will hold it, but it won't be as extensive as what it has been in the past. So the crowds, there won't be the massive crowds there. It won't be to the fullest that it has been in the past because of the situation there, but there'll be this huge celebration. Nobody will care. It won't be, as Mariupol moves on to calmer waters, working hard behind the scenes at peace. There will be peace there. So yeah, it's inevitable. Inevitable. There will be things that won't be quite as they have been in the past with Eurovision. There'll be some people that are not happy about it, but there will be this calm, diplomatic feel about the situation. So yeah, I am getting it will be there. I don't know that they'll actually have an audience, if that makes sense, or it will just be an extremely limited audience. It will be broadcast, it won't be without its problems, and I am seeing that it'll be held in amongst the rubble itself rather than in a big arena with a stage or anything like that. Okay, I want to have a look at the future of the Azar battalion. I cannot find anything, so please tell me if you do know. I cannot. So this particular battalion surrendered to the Russians. They have been shipped off to a Russian prisoner of war camp. Those that needed medical attention have been given medical attention. Apparently there were 51 severely wounded amongst those. But I can't find anything that says that Russia has taken control of the steelworks. So I don't know whether this battalion were the last of those holding out the steelworks or not. I don't feel that they were. Apparently 1,000 civilians and fighters have left the steelworks over the last week, approximately 1,000, but I don't know if there's still some holding out there. So please let me know if you know. I cannot find, for the life of me, cannot find a report anywhere that says that Russia has taken the steelworks or that Ukraine has lost the steelworks. So please let me know. I did read on the steelworks fighters, oh gosh, a month or so ago, 3-4 weeks ago, that they knew what they were in for, they knew what they were getting into, and they were ready for the outcomes. But I want to have a look at the Azar battalion, who have been shipped off to Russia in a convoy of buses. So they are now prisoners of war. Tell me about, I'm going to do a full Celtic on this one. Tell me about the prisoners The Azar battalion prisoners from the steelworks in Mariupol. Tell me about the... Here's my Zelensky, the feminine side of his energy coming forward again. He cares for these people quite deeply. He was the one that told them to surrender, but he's not giving up on them. He did that so that the wounded could be treated, is what I'm getting, is what I'm being told. I haven't read that, that's what I'm being told. So tell me about the Azar battalion. I'm sure I've butchered the pronunciation of that, I do apologise. The Azar battalion, tell me about... Oh. This one, he would not go back in the pack. We might start with that card actually. How am I going there? This is very much about standing strong, standing tall, and I think this is the energy of the battalion itself. They have surrendered, but in many ways they haven't surrendered their hearts, is what I'm getting. They haven't surrendered who they are. They did it for reasons. They did it for those that were severely wounded. 2 aces. It was an emotional decision for them. Their emotional cup is full. These are also cards of a new beginning. I'm just asking about them. I haven't asked about what their future is. That may come up. But 2 aces, which is telling us to take note. Base, temperance, about a rebalancing. This is very much the energy that these fighters are imbued. Can't pronounce the word. That is the core of who they are. In the past, the 3 of Wands, so this is a plan coming to fruition. Their plan was to hold the steelworks, to keep the Russian army tied up, to cause the army not to be able to move on. So that was their plan, and their plan worked. This is the plan coming to fruition, but it is in the past. It was very much about holding this ship to them so that it couldn't move on to other parts of the country while the Russian resources were drained. Crowning the reading is Russia herself, the Empress. Also about abundance and rebirth. But I think because I'm talking about this card is actually Russia herself, or when I say Russia, I'm not talking about the Russian people, I'm talking about Putin, the military and their enablers, etc. There is information that's going to come up very quickly about these soldiers, these fighters. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen very quickly. And there is a plan in the making of what is going to happen to these fighters. This is the external influences. Russia at the moment is trying to make a plan on what path to follow and what message they want to put out. And it will be a very fiery message when they put out. That's 3 aces. 3, okay. Again, take note. The message that they're going to put out is a very fiery message. This is the internal influences, but this is also the fire within these soldiers, within these fighters, cannot be extinguished. The fire they have for their cause and for their country will not be extinguished. Hopes and fears. It's about their hope is for the independence of Russia, independence of Ukraine, and these are the outcome. Okay, this might lead me to another question. They have stepped forward. They have been promised to be treated in accordance with international prisoner of war, policies, requirements. So they have stepped out, they've stepped forward in courage and faith that they will be treated well. They have made this arrangement to surrender, but I've got this 10 of Swords that I'm not liking particularly. So we'll have a look. Looking at the base of the pack, I've got 3 kings. 3 kings. These are the leaders of Zelensky, Biden, and these are just all the leaders coming together around Zelensky, pulling on their diplomacy, pulling on the law, and trying to bring an outcome to these prisoners. There is work going on behind the scenes. It is going to be difficult in the face of this person, who we know who that is, but have hope. Have hope. There will be an offer made, and this is Russia deciding what to do with that offer. So we'll have a look further at that 10 of Swords as to the fate of these fighters themselves. But they haven't lost the fire and passion that they have. They are still extremely strong within themselves. They surrendered in good faith, but I want to have a look at that that 10 of Swords, which is usually meaning downfall. Things are under review at the moment. The Russian hierarchy are trying to decide what to do with these prisoners, but the leaders of the rest of the world are coming together, or those that are backing Ukraine are coming together to support Zelensky and his negotiations for these fighters. What was that 10 of Swords, please? What was that 10 of Swords? Tell me a little bit more on that 10 of Swords. Tell me a little bit more on that 10 of Swords. Tell me a little bit more on that 10 of Swords. Oops, what flipped over there? So I've got the 10 of Cups. I think it's going to be okay. I think 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords again. Knight of Swords, some harsh truth coming forward. And a victory of sorts. An agreement being made. A disappointing offer. A tower moment. Sorry, can you see those? I'll just pop those a bit further up. A tower moment. A surrender. There is some uncertainty. Russia's playing their cards close to their chest as to their decision. Russia's playing its cards close to the chest as to what they're going to do. They have choices that they need to make. We've got these fighters in captivity, but there we have the Ace of Cups again, and I've had a couple of cards flip over, and these are the Star of Hope, and the Page of Pentacles, which is, and right immediately with that was the Emperor out in the cold with the Zelensky, and the 10 of Pentacles. So, okay, we've got a bit of quite a mixed bag here, which is what I'm getting is that really Russia hasn't decided what they're going to do with them. Russia hasn't decided. There are going to be offers made, offers potentially rejected on these soldiers that have surrendered. There will be further offers made. Russia's going to have to decide what direction it takes. It's going to make choices what it does in regards to these prisoners, and I think what what Putin is wanting is something that gives him a victory. Because we've got this victory card here and this Ace of Cups. So I think what's happening is that Putin's wanting something out of these prisoners where he can, well, this is him on the bottom, where he can so-called give it to the West, some sort of moral victory or some sort where he's got one over on them or something like that. Okay. What I might do is I'm going to have a quick look at Turkey opposing Sweden and Finland. We've got President Erdogan. He claims that the reason they're not supporting Finland and Sweden joining NATO is because of that Sweden banned arms sales or put sanctions on arms sales to Turkey when Turkey was invading Syria and etc. And then also claims that Finland and Sweden aren't turning over suspected who Turkey's claimed are terrorists, handing them over to Turkey for trial for whatever reason. Whether that's because Turkey hasn't provided enough proof. But I think when I read that, I really got the feeling that those two reasons were purely a cover, a ploy, whitewashing, just an excuse, just purely an excuse. So I want to have a look. What is the real reason behind Turkey theoretically opposing, at this stage they are opposing Finland and Sweden being brought into NATO. They're going to be overridden. Turkey's going to be overridden. But what is the real reason why Erdogan is opposing Finland and Sweden being brought into NATO? Money. He has been offered money, something to do with his past. Two aces. Government. Things not being revealed, or a murky underbelly, and another money card. So from what I'm getting from this is there's some arrangement from his past to do with money, and more money, that will come to light, and will pierce this crown. It will be a release of some new information that will come forward, a truth, and not necessarily investigation. I'm just getting a truth it's going to be a new start to the truth about something that has gone on in his past financially, to do with the government that is currently being concealed but will come to the surface. And then on the base we've got money again, insecurity about money. So, okay, then we've got victory, the mercenary, anxiety, about a plan of world domination that is being hidden, information has been hidden, rebalancing, temperance, rebalancing, yep, and then we have Tower and the World card and walking away. So what I'm getting from that is that at some stage in the past. He is bound to something in the past to do with the giving of a new financial start for Turkey, or him. I don't know whether it's Turkey or him. There's something binding them there in regards to the domestic financial situation of Turkey. It is going to be revealed with the government being in some sort of obligation. It is going to come to the surface, and there is insecurity about this information coming out. It was so what I'm getting, it is in regards to the victory, and I'm thinking it's a victory over Syria, where there were mercenaries supplied, or mercenary action supplied in some way, that is causing him great anxiety. That there was a plan on the world stage, to that hadn't come to fruition. This information has not been revealed as of yet, but it will be, which will mean an ending and a breaking down of the old structures, a lightning bolt moment, a destructive moment that will cause him to walk away. So I'm thinking there's more to it. Someone had suggested that maybe he was being threatened or something. His family was being threatened. I might have a quick look at that and then that'll do us. But I'm not getting that his family was threatened. I'm getting that he was under some sort of financial obligation to do with, in the past, potentially with this conflict with Syria, where he was provided with finances and mercenaries in regards to Syria. Tell me about, is Erdogan's family being threatened by Russia, and that's why he's opposing Sweden and Finland coming into NATO? Is Erdogan's family being threatened by Russia? Not feeling it. I think he is being, what I'm getting is he's been reminded of his past obligations that he doesn't want to come to light. Oops, what was that? Ace of Coins again. When I said that, telling me yes, it's about a financial obligation that he doesn't, a domestic a security. Yeah, he's bound. He feels that he's bound by this obligation, and that's what it is. It's not that his family is being threatened or anything. It is something that's gone on in his past where he has made some sort of agreement that he feels obliged to uphold, and that is his reason behind it. Again, sorry I've gone on for so long. I'll tackle Putin himself at a later reading. And stay safe, take care, love to you all, and I shall catch you next time. Bye-bye.